Oh, let's see if everybody wants to come in. All right, got at least one person in here. Who's in here right now? Hello. How are you this evening? Sorry, I had to move my phone. Oh, I can see what's going on. Hopefully, you're having a nice night. I'm doing all right. I'm up here in rainy Virginia right now. I'm up here by Norfolk, Virginia right now. It's been raining all day. Hopefully, your weather has been a lot better. Hello, Savvy. Yeah. Well, hey, Savvy, I'm actually going to be down in Tennessee Monday. I got to be in Murfreesboro Monday. Don't touch the boats. Yeah, we know what happens when the boats get touched. They don't like that. Don't touch the boats. And no, I did not touch the boats. I left the boats alone. I went under the boats though. Last video I posted was me going up under the bay right there in Norfolk, Virginia. So I went under the boats though. Aw, Savvy, you just timed out my mom. That's not cool. Sorry, Mom. I don't think she knew. Yeah, Pat Ryan is actually my mom, Savvy. It's funny though. I mean, I'm sorry, Mom. That was a little funny. But yeah, no. There we go. I'll bring it back. Yeah, I've just kind of been chilling out today. I didn't really want to do much of anything. And I figure I'll be in Murfreesboro tomorrow night. I'll be leaving here about 11 o'clock in the morning. Somewhere around there. No, 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be in Murfreesboro tomorrow night. Even though I'm not supposed to really deliver until Monday morning. But it'll give me time to get down there, and I'll actually be about 5 minutes from my customer when I stop. Hello, Zach. How are you doing tonight, Zach? As for the weather, it's been a strange one today. I don't understand this rain. It started out as a just mist, and then probably around, I'd say 11 o'clock this morning, I looked at the radar and it was just a whole line of crap coming at me. So man, it's getting harder and harder. I can hear it hitting the truck, but we don't like frozen stuff. Snow, I have no problems with, but freezing rain or ice, I don't like that. You're welcome. All right. Tell the kids good night. All right. Ariel, Zoe, you have a nice night. Good night. I hope to see you soon. Be good in school and do what your mother and your grandmother tell you to do. Bye. Go to sleep. Hey, you gotta love the kids. Yeah. Well, hopefully I'm out of Tennessee before anything decides to turn to ice. Yes. Gotta love my moderator Savvy. Boy, she is on everything. You know, hit that like button. You know, that's one thing I never tell anybody to do, because I'm always hearing everybody tell everybody on all their videos, smash the like button, comment, subscribe. All my videos that I do, you notice I never ask anybody for any of that. I figure if you watch my videos, that's great. You know, I show everybody the view of a truck driver. If you watch them, you watch them. If you don't, you don't. I'm still going to be doing trucking videos, but I'm also going to be moving towards more of some paranormal stuff. I am waiting on getting into a location down in Florida. Whenever I might have to send them a carrier pigeon to get a hold of me get back with me about a date that they have available. And whenever I do finally get back in touch with them, that will be a long video. Aw. Yeah, tell them I love them too, Mom. And tell them I also miss them. But yeah, when I go to do that live video, it's gonna be a 6-hour video, because the way I'm gonna do it is in the old school style of Ghost Hunters Taps, when they would do their Halloween episodes live. That's basically what I'm going to be doing. And then, you know, after that video, whenever I can, when I can hit a location, I will stop and I'll take a video while I'm there of it. Yes, the video will be uncut. One, that way nobody can say later on, hey, send me the unedited video of you being there. It's all going to be unedited. The way I'm going to do it is the person I'm going with and myself, whoever's watching the videos or that video will literally get the paranormal experience of having to look for the evidence as it's being done. Actually, when we're there, the only thing that we're going to be using is we're going to have flashlights with us, obviously, because we're going to be in the dark. And we're going to have my phone, and the other person that's going to be there, they're going to have their phone. That's it. We're not going to be using any kind of equipment. So whatever is heard, then, you know, that's it. You know, if you hear a voice or something that's caught, then, you know, you get to point it out. Nah, troll blocker ain't slipping. And it's going good. I mean, it's been raining up here all day, but it's been going good. You know, I get a lot of these investigators that are now on YouTube. They're getting slammed for using equipment or whatever. Well, I'm sorry. You got to use equipment for some things. But, you know, I figure going there with nothing to show everybody, one, it can be done with nothing, but the results aren't going to be the same, you know. Oh, and on my way up here to Virginia, I went by Parker's Crossing. They're on 40, I-40. They're in I don't even know what the damn name of that town is there, Savvy. But it's the battlefield right there on both sides of the freeway. I've been there before, but as I was driving by, I think I noticed that the cabin that used to be out there, I think it's gone now. Actually, you know, when it comes to driving a truck and doing paranormal stuff, you know, the paranormal stuff don't bother me at all. You know, shadows, stuff like that. It does not bother me one bit. If anything, I'm more terrified of living people than I am of spirits, honestly. I mean, the living people can hurt you, the spirits really can't. So, That's how I look at it. I'm quite good with like hanging out in the dark woods by myself with nothing but a flashlight. I mean, I would rather hang out there than hang out in a city, honestly. But yeah, when it comes to the paranormal and driving a truck, I'd rather deal with the paranormal really than have human interaction, because I mean, with humans, with real people that are alive, you don't know what's going through their head. So, and in all honesty, if a shadow person was to walk up to me and want to shake my hand, I'd probably try to shake its hand back. I mean, that's just how I am. Now, if I get woke up by something, my mind's got to wake up to try to process what happened. But other than that, I'm good with it. I mean, if I had my choice, if I had a choice, and if I had the money to do it, I would be doing hunting 100% of the time and not driving. But that's just me. But unfortunately, that's not a reality that can actually happen. Dream destination for paranormal investigations. Hoya Baciu Forest. That is a dream destination for me right there. I would love to investigate there because of all the reports that have come out of there. I know a lot. I've seen the episode with Josh Gates doing it for Destination Truth, and I've seen Expedition X doing it. I don't really count Ghost Adventure guys doing it because, well, I'm surprised Zach Baggins didn't get, possessed while there. Another dream destination for me, and I know this would never happen because, the family is very tight about anything going on there. They only use it for a tourist attraction, but that would be Graceland. And not just, doing the downstairs. No. I would like to do the upstairs where nobody is allowed to go because that was Elvis's space. That's the space I'd want to do, is upstairs at Graceland. That way, be like, what's here? Is Elvis still here? Even though there's so many theories about Elvis didn't die. I get that. He's gone. But I would love to do Graceland. But I do believe Hoya Baciu Forest would be my number one. Yes, Graceland has so much history there. The last time I was in Memphis that I got to literally walk around, I actually stood outside of Graceland. I didn't go through the gates, but I did stop at his airplane. I went inside of his airplane, and just being in his airplane, that's a whole different energy right there. I mean, you could feel the energy from that being in his plane. But I don't think I'd ever want to try to do any kind of investigation on his plane because Lord knows I don't know if I'm ready to get what I might get from that plane. Oh, Savvy, you're from Memphis area, huh? Or from Memphis? That's awesome. I was actually just there not too long ago. I delivered right down off of a 78. You know, when it comes to hunting particular personalities or eras of history, honestly, it's more of neither. It's more of if something's there that actually wants to try to get their story out or whatever, that's fine with me. Um, a few months back, I did go to Old Joliet Prison, which that was a hoot. Um, so, I mean, it's not really personalities I look for or history eras. Although, don't get me wrong, I would love to go to some places that, you know, like Revolutionary War battlefields, Civil War battlefields. I would love to do those, but a lot of those are off limits. People really don't want you investigating in there, which I get it. You know, some of these Civil War battlefields and Revolutionary War battlefields, even though they not really confirm that anyone's buried there, a lot of them do consider them sacred as being cemeteries, which I get that. Um, but if I had to pick between personalities or eras of time, maybe eras of time I'd want to go after just because of the time difference between now and then on how different it is. And they, you know, the spirits probably looking at us like, what the hell are these people doing? You know, and I may be trying to talk to them and they're not understanding me because I speak totally different from what they did. You know, they don't understand what I'm saying. But if I can, I'll do that. Yes. I do believe language is a barrier on some. I mean, if you come across a spirit from someone, say, in the Revolutionary War era, you're talking in the same language, but you're using words that they didn't use back then, and they may not understand exactly what you're saying 100% of the time. So it can be a barrier. I have found with some places I've been, I can't talk like I normally do. I have to try to figure out a different way to get their attention. A lot of times that's why when you watch like ghost hunting shows, you know, they're like, hey, you know, knock if you're there, if you can hear me. And a lot of times that's how they want to communicate because, well, they don't quite understand what you're saying because they're from a different time. But yeah, but the Parker's Crossing, I so want to do that one. I really do. I would love to chat with someone like Nikola Tesla to get in his brain. To get in his brain. I would love to chat with Tesla. I mean, I have my own theories about Tesla on what happened to him. To keep from getting booted off YouTube, I'm going to keep those theories to myself. How you doing, Mr. Grey Day? But yeah, to keep from getting booted off YouTube, I'm going to keep my theories on Tesla to myself. Because none of them are good. Even though, you know, his designs are slowly starting to try to weed their way back into society. But technically not fast enough. But I think next time I go through Parker's Crossing, I'm going to stop and see if that cabin is gone. That was on the south side of the freeway. Because last time I was there, it was weird because I didn't have my phone on me, but I was looking through one of the windows because they have everything, like, they had the doors boarded off and everything, but you could see in the windows, and the sun was going down. And I don't know if it was my shadow or what, but I would turn to walk away, and you literally see a shadow walking through there. So I don't know if it was me or what, but when I went through there the other night, I looked. They put a gas station there, but it looked like the cabin was gone. If it is, that's gonna depress me because I wanted to go back in there. And I know I'm gonna try to get to I'm gonna try to get back to Weston, West Virginia again. I want to go back to Trans-Allegheny one more time. Gotta do it one more time at least. There's a couple more places that I want to hit. I definitely need to get back to the Sally house. I'm trying to make plans for that one. If I can get back to the Sally house, that's gonna be lit. That'll be another live episode the whole time I'm there. I think everyone would be getting tired of live episodes of paranormal investigations after the first one. 6 hours. That's gonna be a long one. I mean, yeah, we're gonna be taking breaks while we're there. But the way we're gonna do the breaks is I'm gonna set everything up to where it's looking into the house while me and the other person go outside to take our breaks, but leave everything recording. That way, if anything happens while we're outside, everybody will be able to still see that it's not us, you know, it's inside the house as we're outside, depending on, you know, where we have everything set up at, whether it's upstairs, downstairs, wherever. Another location I'm looking at right now for doing is the old courthouse in Orlando, Florida, where Ted Bundy was executed. or put on trial. That's another place I'm looking into. Maybe later on I'll get to that one. I know I wanted to do St. Augustine Lighthouse there in St. Augustine, Florida, but unfortunately they charge $1,500 for an hour and a half. And I'm sorry, that's a ridiculous price. That's like Jacqueline Nunez price right there. I mean, if you're going to charge $1,500, at least make it for the entire night, not just an hour and a half. Maybe at some point I can do that one. Not 100% sure. There's a few other places I would love to go. Villisca Axe Murder House. Although being a parent myself, not really, I don't think I'm ready for that one, because with the Villisca Axe Murder House, a lot of people have gotten EVPs there from kids. Being a parent myself, not really sure I'm ready for that one. I mean, unless if I go in and I start like freaking out and telling everybody I'm possessed, just dye my hair. Well, I can't dye my hair black. I ain't got hair. Put a black wig on and, just call myself Zach Baggins. That's one place that I haven't been able to get in that I do want to get in was the Brandywine Station. I wanted to get in there. I haven't been able to. I know another one that I would love to get into, but I literally have to park my truck somewhere else and like call an Uber to get me there. And that would be Gettysburg. I would love to get to Gettysburg. And, not to like do the town or anything. No, go to the battlefield itself, which basically the entire town of Gettysburg was the battlefield. I mean, you can't get away from it, but there's so many places, on the East Coast that you've got Revolutionary War battles happened, Civil War battles, and a lot of them aren't widely known because they were small skirmishes. And for all I know, where I'm sitting right now, there could have been a Civil War or Revolutionary War battle where I'm sitting now. But not quite 100% positive on that. But I know Brandywine Station, I would love to get in there. I think I've seen that. I think Taps did that place once. Not 100% sure. Can't remember. Not sure. No, actually, I don't. I probably should. If I'm in a remote area, which I am a lot of the times, very seldom am I ever in a big city overnight. I probably should, if it's not raining and nasty outside, you know, I probably should put my phone up and try to get everything outside. Probably feel a little too close to home. Not really. I mean, again, that ranks up there with the. I actually feel safer with spirits around me, other than, you know, and instead of people. But you know, I woke up. There's times I woke up and seen shadows inside my truck, and you know, it's one of those. I know it's nothing coming in from outside creating shadows, because I'll show you guys the way I've got my truck. I've got a curtain that goes all the way around the front of my truck. Oop, get off there. Sorry, my necklace caught my phone. So, you know, if I wake up and I see a shadow, you know, in the front of my truck, it's not from something outside. It's from inside the truck. I woke up a few times like that. Again, it's one of those, I wasn't scared about it, but I just had to take a few minutes for my brain to comprehend. Wait a minute. Why is there a shadow inside the truck when there shouldn't be? Obviously, I'm laying in bed, so why is there a shadow in the front of my truck? I mean, I may try it tonight with just recording, setting my phone up and just having it pointed towards the front end of my truck. That way I can see if I catch anything while sleeping, and just watch the video later on. And if I catch anything, I'll post it on there. Posted it here on YouTube. I've actually woke up being, you know, pushed off my bed, not falling off, because, you know, I've got a cabinet right here, so it'd be kind of hard for me to just randomly fall off the bed, you know. So literally being pushed off the bed, pushed or pulled, one of the two. But you know, I'll see about doing that tonight. I'll see about setting my phone up tonight and recording, since I am here in Virginia. With Virginia being one of the big Revolutionary War battle areas and Civil War battle areas, you know, who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. You know, maybe while I'm asleep, something decides it wants to try to get my attention. We'll see how that goes. But, you know, one never knows exactly what's gonna happen. I mean, I've had it to where I've been at home and randomly woke up in the middle of the night to look at the bedroom door when there was a nightlight on in the hallway, and you could literally see something pacing up under the door from the light. I had to get up and check it out. You know, I mean, it's what we do. I mean, being a husband and a father, that's my duty. Make sure nobody's in the house. And there wasn't. Well, the kids were asleep, so nobody was up. There was no explanation for the shadow, you know, whatever was pacing up under the door in the light. But I know, was it not even a couple of weeks later, my daughter heard heavy footsteps up in the attic going from the front of the house all the way to the back of the house. But crazy thing about my attic, you cannot walk from the front of the house to the back of the house in the attic. You cannot do it. But you could hear heavy footsteps just walk all the way across the entire attic. I mean, I know there's something there. It don't mean anybody any harm. It just wants to hang out, so yeah, well, that's what we do. We just let it hang out. No, unfortunately, it is not a historic house. Here's the thing. It's kind of a newer house, but the people that lived in it before me, the old man and his wife that lived there, she had a heart attack. She did not die at the house, but she had a heart attack and died at the hospital. But they'd lived in that house for, I think it was 4 or 5 years before we moved in. So I look at it as she's probably there looking over the house, because, you know, she probably loved living there, and she just returned, and that's where she wants to stay. So we're not making her leave or anything, because you can be in the living room or whatever, and you can hear stuff going on in the kitchen when there's nobody in there. So we just figure it's her doing her thing, living her life still. I would love to live in a historic house, though. Oh yes, I would. Just because. But yeah, no, that home ain't that old. I mean, I would say the house itself is probably 10 years old, if that. So, I mean, but hey, I got a haunted house for rent, so. Yes, somebody could have died on the property before the house was built. I mean, you never know. I mean, where I live, that's a very good possibility that it was somebody that died on the property, because the Indians would literally come down from Oklahoma and they would cut through that whole area to raid camps and villages in my town and south, and then head back up to Oklahoma. So there's very good possibility that somebody died right around there. But that's all right, though. I look at it this way: if the spirit ain't bothering nobody, there's no real reason to push it out. I mean, just let it keep doing its thing. I mean, not wrong. I mean, your neighbors would be quiet. I mean, and for people that think graveyards would be a bad thing to live by, okay, bad joke coming, because me personally, I find graveyards fascinating because everybody's just dying to get in there. So, I find it funny when somebody wants to investigate a graveyard, really, because it's one of those, okay, they may be buried there, but do you think their spirit is going to hang out in the graveyard? I mean, if I'm buried next to somebody that I don't know, I don't want to talk to that person, the rest of my natural spirit life. I'm going to get out of there. I don't understand the whole investigate the graveyard thing. I mean, I could literally take a lunch and sit in a graveyard and have lunch at a graveyard. I could take a nap at a graveyard, but I ain't going to investigate it. I mean, it's kind of pointless in a way, but I know a lot of people, they don't want to live next to a graveyard because they figure, oh, that's just bad luck. Your house is going to be overrun with spirits and everything. I'm pretty sure them spirits have either moved on or they went back to the last place that they really loved being at. They're not just going to randomly be like, ooh, hey, there's a house. Why don't we go and invade that place? Exactly. The Victorians used to picnic in graveyards. In all honesty, I think that should be a thing to where people bring that back. Going to the local graveyard, sit down, have a picnic. If there are spirits there, they're going to be like, hey, they haven't forgot about us. We're still there. Graveyard's safest place to be until the zombie apocalypse. Look, the zombie apocalypse happens. Okay, I don't have to be faster than the zombies. I just got to trip the person that's next to me so I can get away. So technically, I don't have to be faster than anybody. I can just, sorry, bro. I'll make sure to tell your parents you're not coming home tonight. But no, I do believe we need to bring having picnics back to graveyards, honestly. Because if there are any lingering spirits there for any reason, they're going to realize that nobody's really forgot them. Be respectful. Don't be disrespectful. I know how some kids are. Some kids want to be disrespectful and, try to vandalize tombstones or whatever. But I mean, just sit down, have a picnic, have some wine, whatever, just kick back and relax. Maybe at some point, just kind of have a conversation with it, with whatever's there. I mean, I know some people probably look at me crazy because I be someplace and I just randomly start asking questions. Exactly, having a picnic with your dearly departed. I mean, even if you find a graveyard someplace that you don't have anybody buried there, great. Go in and have a picnic at that location as well. You know, I mean, do I think spirits stay away from the graveyard as much as possible? Yes and no. I think they go back every once in a while just to check out what their graves look like or whatever before finally, moving on or whatever. But, I don't think they stay away all the time. They may pop in and out. Me personally, I'm going to be cremated, so it's going to be wherever the hell I'm put. Yeah. One thing I've never gotten into is vandalizing headstones or anything like that. I mean, if I was ever at a graveyard someplace and I seen somebody vandalizing headstones or whatever, I'm taking them down. I'm calling the cops. There's no room. There's no need for all that. I don't understand the logic of it, especially when you hear like historical graveyards where people went in and vandalized the graveyard. Where's the sense in that? I mean, in all honesty, I wish someone would make it make sense to me as to why they do that. I mean, what has went on in their life that is so bad that they have to go and destroy, say, a 200-year-old headstone? I mean, that is one way to get your ass whooped by a freaking spirit. You're gonna have bad luck for the rest of your life. Spirit walks up on you vandalizing their headstone, you got hell to pay, because that spirit ain't gonna take that laying down. They're gonna make sure that you pay for it. I mean, if anything, I would say kind of run away from, if you're with somebody that wants to do that, get away from them. Correct. Exactly. That's a good way. That is a very good way to get genealogists to come after you. If you destroy a headstone, especially when, we're talking before paper records were ever kept, you're in for a world of hurt, because genealogists, they don't play with that. They will prosecute. And I know a lot of the old cemeteries, they're now doing instead of having, police check on it, they're actually having people of the community go by and make sure there's no shenanigans going on. Which I think is great. You got an old historical cemetery that's out of the way. The people of the community should be keeping an eye on it. I mean, I don't mean with going in there with the weed eaters and cutting the grass or whatnot, although that would be nice. But make sure nobody's going in there and creating havoc, causing chaos. Make sure no shenanigans are going on. Because, once the history is gone, it's gone. There's no replacing it. Now, one thing I do wish would happen with a lot of these old cemeteries, when the tombstones get to the point where they're almost unreadable, maybe replace them with, like a plaque. That way the information is still there. I know I mean, after I'm cremated, I don't plan on having a headstone. You just put a plaque out there and everything. What I figure will happen is after I'm cremated is, kind of dig a hole where my grandmother's buried, put me in that hole right above her grave. Boom. Done. Yes, and preserving the information is definitely necessary. I'm not saying get rid of the headstone completely. Just take the information from the headstone, make a plaque, put the plaque out there. That way people can still read what is literally on the headstone from the plaque. And because I've been to some graveyards where the tombstones are so old, there is no information on them anymore. I mean, they're so worn that basically it's just a slab rock that's sitting there now. And it's like, well, how do I know who's buried here? What they, when they die? But, and that's the information that we're losing. Because, everything gets weathered outside. So it is what it is. Oh no. Yeah, Oh, another place I would love to investigate. I just saw this one. The catacombs over in Paris. Now, see, that is kind of cool right there. I mean, to make copies and everything and make them available for people that actually want to get rubbings of them. I mean, that's actually awesome to do that. Yes, the catacombs in Paris, though, that would be a little unsettling, but I would do it. I would do it. And yes, Mr. Gray Day, with when markers are just wooden crosses. I mean, it's so hard to try to figure out who's there, who's not there anymore. I mean, yes, and you know, in all honesty, a rubbing of the memorial, a lot of people don't think about doing that when they go to graveyards, and they just look at everything and just walk on. I mean, there is so much history in some of these older graveyards that it's unreal. um I know there's a graveyard in Texas. I have to find it again. Me and my wife found it one time, and when we got there, there's this huge, huge statue near the middle of the graveyard. Couldn't figure out why. Walked over to the statue. It's actually Davy Crockett's wife that's buried there. And on either side of her are her kids. I was like, holy hell. Okay, I know it's somewhere around Hood County, Texas, but I just can't remember where. And it was only once that we found that by luck. And you know, I didn't know that his wife had actually remained in Texas after he died at the Alamo. And come to find out, after he died, the state of Texas gave her a whole bunch of land, and that's where she stayed for the rest of her life until she died. And it's like, holy crap, that's crazy. But as a gift for her husband fighting with the Alamo, they gave her a whole bunch of land somewhere around Hood County, just kind of southwest of Fort Worth. Who knew? I mean, I didn't. I've lived in Texas for, you know, at that time it was like 39 years. Never knew that. Not until that day, and you know, and I had to look it up to make sure it was real, and yeah, it was real. Yes, it was a random visit. I can't even remember what we were doing driving around. Because I know our daughter had just been born not too long beforehand, and I think it was the wife just wanted to get out of the house for a while, so we were just randomly driving around, and we came across an old cemetery. And like I said, when we pulled up, you could see this huge white marble statue standing off near the middle of the cemetery, and so we decided to go check it out. And well, it's Davy Crockett's wife and his kids, and it's like, holy crap, that's random. I mean, you don't see that every day in a small town. And how that's not a big, I guess it's not a big deal right there because everybody sees it. I didn't know there were mound builders in Texas. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that because I didn't know there were any mound builders in Texas. I thought they were, you know, in the northern sections of the U.S. and on the eastern side, I'm definitely gonna have to look into that. Um, but of course, there is so much that there's so much history in Texas and across the U.S. for that matter. I know going to school is like we had to take we had to take Texas history in school. We didn't learn about any of this stuff. We didn't learn that, Davy Crockett's wife was buried there. We didn't learn about mound builders in Texas. None of that. Well, I can look it up. If it's in Northeast Texas, I can definitely look it up. Yeah, and it's funny because they make it a big deal about having to learn the history, but what history did we actually learn in school? Because, I mean, if anything, there wasn't much being taught to us, back in the 80s and everything. I think it was more hurry up and get them out of here and get them to the next grade so we don't have to worry about them anymore. That's why I watch a lot of history stuff on Texas and the U.S. And yes, I even watch history stuff on our great white neighbor up to the north of us in Canada. Oh, that's actually kind of funny, Mr. Great A. That's actually kind of funny. But I mean, yeah, I even look up history, of Canada because they've got a rich history as well. Like my family came from France, went from France to Canada, from Canada down here to the U.S. So I've got a I've got to watch, learn all history. Yeah, sometimes the truth can be funny, and then sometimes the truth can just be sad. It's like earlier today, I went inside and inside this truck stop I'm at, and I went to buy a pack of cigarettes, and the lady went to ID me, and I made a joke. I literally made a joke because I was like, oh man, I ain't got my ID on me. But I got a note from my mom. She did not understand exactly what I was saying. She was way too young to understand that joke at all about having a note from my mother for cigarettes. Because back in the day, they would literally hand you a note and the money and say go get cigarettes, or and if that didn't work, you would get the cashier to give you change. You just went to the vending machine and got the cigarettes from the vending machine. So even though it was funny and I showed her my ID, but it made me feel really old at that point. I was like, holy crap. I've gotten to the age where I'm looking at these kids working in freaking convenience stores, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I was much younger than you when I was buying cigarettes for the first time. So that's all right. I'll show you my ID if you really want to see it. But that's why I'm always telling everybody, you know, yes, generational differences are like a kick in the teeth. Um, you know, I've had yeah, but you know, I've had people ask me, well, you know, what did you guys do in, you know, in the 80s and how can you prove it? We don't have proof because, well, that's how you got caught. That's how you got caught. We didn't have phones, we didn't have social media, you know, uh, we remember because it's in our head. You know, we know what we did. If we had social media back in the 80s, 90% of my generation would still be locked up in prison for the crap that we did. You know, just straight up. I ain't gonna deny it. Exactly. You make a record, you get caught. You know, and that's why I laugh when I see some of these videos on YouTube of these kids doing these dumb things. It's like, yeah, you do realize that's never going to go away. You're always going to get called out on that, right? I mean, you go to get a job or something and they decide they want to check your social media or whatever. Stupid crap is going to come up. And then they're going to be like, do we really want this here? Um, I mean, if anything, I don't. I would love to be able to relive my old times, but also not really. Yes, yes, the neighborhood parents. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. There were always neighborhood parents. You know, if you did one thing, um, it always got back. And oh, don't forget, when you got swatted, you had to go outside and pick your own switch from the tree. That was the worst part. Fuck getting hit with it. Picking it was the worst. Um, and yes, grade A, the arcades and the movie theaters back in the 80s, top notch. Most people never will understand that ever. Um, yeah, yeah, you'd definitely be shot for that one. Um, now, and you know, I've had people ask me, well, how is the 80s and 90s different from today? We had the best music, we had the best movies. And yes, we were getting into movies that we probably shouldn't been watching at our age when we seen them, 70s, 80s, you know, early 90s, but we did. Blues Brothers was okay. I'm talking about, you know, movies that came out like Porky's. Young kids should not have been watching Porky's, but we were watching Porky's. Um, didn't really watch that one. Not unless if we were able to jack it from a parent, you know, someone's parents. Um, let's see, we got you know, then we had, you know, when Breakfast Club came out, we all got detention, and we're still in detention. 40 years later, we're still in detention from Breakfast Club. That's right, Savvy. Your hometown is the birthplace of blues. I know the music that we had back in the 80s, top notch. Very top notch. No, I'm thinking not at her house, but a lot of the music did die in the 90s. Um, all right, sir. You have a great night. Um, but yes, Mr. Great A. A lot of the good music did die in the 90s. Although we still had good music. Um, I mean, the Spotify playlist I have on my phone, it starts at the 50s and goes all the way to 2000s. So I love all music, really. Records are good, but you know what was better than records? 8 tracks. 8 tracks were better. Yes. What's going on, Mafia? Yeah, I love people's reactions when I mention 8 tracks. A lot of people are like, "What the hell is an 8 track?" It's like a large cassette tape. Yeah. I had, I don't know how many cassette tapes, CDs. It kind of ran the gambit on what I had. Now, hell, I just got everything on my damn phone. Just crazy how technology works. I mean, can we bring, well, I was going to say, can we bring record players back? But fuck, they already are back. Never mind. Can we bring 8-track tapes back? Please. That'd be awesome. Oh, man. Yeah, my cassette tape collection was pretty extensive. And, I don't really listen to a whole lot of music from today because it don't have the same feel as the older generational music. It really don't. Nice. Nice. I would love to see cassette tapes make a comeback. That's right. The survivors survived. Like I always used to tell my son all the time. Growing up, everything was out to kill us. So the ones that, you see from my generation, we survived. We were the toughest. We had to weed out the weaklings. Plain and simple. You know, I mean, I don't know if anybody remembers getting on the murder go-round and the playgrounds, you know, the metal freaking murder go-round, and you had that one adult trying to freaking spin that thing at like Mach fuck, because whoever fell off first, well, they're either going to get a concussion or worse. I mean, I can't look at one of those damn things now without damn near getting sick, because, you know, it just brings back so many damn horrible memories. Yes, lawn darts. Lovely lawn dart. Yes, we were the generation of, when we got older, we need to ban this shit because, you know, someone's going to end up getting hurt. Yeah, we did. We got hurt. Thank you for testing out all this dangerous crap on us to make sure that future generations didn't have to play with this stuff. And if they did, well, we just put warning labels on it. Don't use as intended. Yes, throw them and run for your damn life, because you never know where it's going to hit. I mean, my son thought it was a joke when the first time we watched the movie Grown Ups with Adam Sandler, and they shot that arrow up in the sky. He thought that was a joke, and I was like, no, see, that's what lawn darts basically were. You throw it and you run like hell because you don't know where it's coming down. Yeah, again, the murder go round. I can't look at one without getting sick now. I mean, honestly, I can't even get on a carousel without having like murder go round flashbacks. Because of the crap that we did, you know, which I'm surprised that any of us from my generation actually survived, but we did, unfortunately. And you know, it's funny because we're actually also the smallest generation. You know, everybody got 20 years for generational purposes, except for mine. We only got 15. And we were actually the ones that created a lot of crap for everybody. But you know, we were the lackeys. We were the latchkey kids. We were the slackers. I mean, I had to explain to my son that, you know, growing up, my generation had computers in school. Granted, we only had like word processing on there. But when my generation finally got out of school, especially the older kids in my generation, we were the ones that tackled, you know, internet, phones, you know, cell phones, stuff like that. And he was like, no. That was millennials that created cell phones. No. Yes, we were the late baby boomer kids. Gen X. Exactly, Grade A. We almost died to make the millennials and Gen Z kids make it a safer place for them because they was like, hey, what if we test these huge lawn darts, give them to kids and tell them throw them up in the sky and run? Got it. That'll work, you know. Yes, we did the product testing. You know, we were the reason why they had to put warnings on fireworks. Do not hold these in your hand after lighting them. I mean, technically that should have been a given. Yeah, I wanna try to sue for unpaid wages for testing all these products. I doubt I'll win anything. They'll probably look at me and laugh and go, "You're fucking crazy. You ain't getting nothing." But you know, that would be funny though. Yes, warning, don't eat the gel from inside Stretch Armstrong. It's poisonous. Hey, warning, we need to get rid of the lead paint out of houses and schools because, well, it's poisonous. After we've already had it in all the homes and schools after Gen X had already been through there. Yeah. Warning, don't drink the contents of the battery in the car. That's a given. I mean, oh man. Yes, Mr. Grade A. I mean, I remember a lot from my generation. I know we had the best, just pretty much the best everything. You know, and I was talking to my son one day, telling him, you know, it's funny how nobody can get along anymore, but yet when I was growing up, we got along with everybody. Everyone would go to a party, and if there was music playing, everybody got along with everybody. Why can't we go back to that? I mean, if somebody wants to use a taser on their crotch, go for it. I've got better things to do with my time. I mean, you're probably talking about the same kids that thought it was a good idea to eat Tide Pods. So, which I guess technically, if you think about it, history repeats itself. If they're eating Tide Pods and now they want to use a taser on their crotch, it's just weeding out the weak. Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, growing up, I tried to keep soap out of my mouth. I didn't put it in there willingly. Yeah, no, not even strawberry shampoo. It does not taste like strawberries. I had plenty of that go run into my mouth when washing my hair. I never tasted strawberries with it. But I mean, in all honesty though, yeah, Ivory soap, I bet that tasted nasty. Oh my God. But yeah, I'm thinking history is just repeating itself. We're trying to weed out the weak with some of these generational kids. I mean, like I said, if they want to eat Tide Pods and they want to use a taser on their crotch, well, that just kills the family tree. Um, but, you know, hey, I think I need a DeLorean to go back in time. 1984. Go back to 1984. Just because. Um, because I think that's when everything's really started getting good back in the 80s. Around 80, 83, 84, 85 era. I'd go back to that time in a heartbeat. I'd go back to hang out with my friends one more time. Exactly, grade A. Exactly. You know, it also helped with. Um, it helped to make you learn how to plant evidence better on somebody else, so they got punished. Um, nice. Risky Business was filmed in your hometown. Awesome. Um, I don't know how many times I've planted evidence on somebody so they took the fall. Be like, okay, if this works, I'm a freaking genius. And it worked. It worked. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. But I don't even know what time it is. It is almost 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Almost 10 o'clock my time. Yeah. All right. All right, Gray Day. IR. I'm going to jump off here, get some sleep, head out in the morning. That's right. And if it don't work, you're a dead man. So, and you didn't, and you're still alive. So that was a plus. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna get out of here in the morning. Everyone have a good night. Hopefully the weather stays great for everybody. And I'll talk to everybody later on. Bye.